They in them streets getting them free drinks, right, AP?
It's a free drink Friday.
Yeah, let me ask you, Shan, if you were well, you're single, never. Well, no, you're not. So if you were out and somebody offered you a drink,
I'm drinking. What's your question?
that was the question.
Now,
You
listen, but
answered
you
it.
got to
Ask
look,
answer.
no. But I have to watch the bartenders pour the drink. I don't
Mhm.
take just drinks from strangers. Like I have to be at the bar when he orders the drink, and I see the bartender making the drink.
Yeah, I had saw something. I don't know where they was at, but it was saying something about how even sometimes the bartenders be in on it, where they're slipping stuff into,
Well, that's when
drink.
you go to a legit establishment. You
Yes.
know, if you in some rinky dink hole in the wall, okay. But you go somewhere of class, and it's an establishment, it's a business. They don't move like that.
Mhm.
So I don't really know many bartenders that are willing to lose their job for a person
Mhm.
to put something in somebody's drink. I don't.
Yeah.
Bartenders don't have a relationship with customers like that. Your own relationship is, are you tipping me tonight? you know?
I
So,
always recommend that women watch the bartenders make their drinks.
but
Mhm.
let me just tell you this though. A bartender, I have a friend, and this is true. She's known this guy for years. I'm gonna tell you. She went to a party, and the bartender gave her heads up that he put something in her drink. She said he wouldn't do that because they've known each other forever. She said, I'm just letting you know, if what I saw, I thought I saw him put something in your drink. And then she said she was feeling a little funny, and she said she believed it, and she saw it like sizzling at the bottom of the drink. And she just couldn't believe this one person who we mutually knew would do that. I said, girl, Atlanta,
That's why you drink at home.
that's why you drink at home.
Oh, is that what we
You could
doing?
get bent. You could turn.
I'll
You
be
could
right
turn
back.
up. You could twerk. You know,
No,
you
you
could see
can
some
drink in an
action.
establishment. Most people, you just have to be careful. You just can't be trusting strangers to bring you drinks. You can't walk away and leave your drinks on the table. It's crazy. Why do you think of people in America so crazy? What is going on? What is it? The environment? Is it the food? Why are we so? Do you know that little kids in Japan can walk to school with no issue at the age of 5? We can't even let kids go out to the trash can in America
Well, I mean, I
without
think people's
possibly getting
beliefs are different
snatched.
in Japan than they are in America. I think they have a much different mindset as far as like, how they want their environment to look, how they deal with their families and stuff like that. And they say that Japan is like one of the safest places because like there's no trash, you know, there's a lot of like social conditioning that they're like, yo, we don't do this, we don't do this, and we operate like this, and everybody kind of has to buy in because they already don't like outsiders. So they kind of keep it tight knit. Like America's pretty welcoming of a lot of things, even to our detriment. And it's kind of like people say that you can't drive in Virginia when reason why Virginians are given a bad rep for bad driving is because everybody named Monkey's uncle comes here because everybody's in the military. So you got people from DC, Tennessee, Texas, Atlanta. Everybody comes to Virginia because we got the biggest military base and we're just a melting pot. So it's just like they'd be like, well, Virginians can't drive. Well, you don't know that the Virginian that you say can't drive came from Texas and he jacking up our rep.
I didn't
They
know
say
people
that
felt so
about
strong
Atlanta
about
drivers
Virginia.
too.
All right,
Atlanta drivers
that
can't.
was me going off on a because mistaken asked a question, and y'all know I got a little bit of ADD. So tonight we are talking about why, and this came up last night in my discussion with my little boo thing. Why the baddie is always the last to get married. Why do you guys think? We're going to start with the meat and potatoes first, because y'all like to. We do it to the end, we never get to it. So we started with the meat and potatoes here first, and then we go into the shenanigans, the other stuff. Okay. So why do you think baddies are the last ones to get married? And I'm not talking about the Instagram hood OnlyFans baddie. That's kind of common sense why she doesn't get married. But we're talking about just nice looking women. Why do you think that they are usually the last to get married?
Attitude. That's number one.
Mm.
Two, sometimes you think that you're better than what you actually are because you look good. Um, and sometimes you think that, because you get guys, you know, it's almost like that analogy that somebody had, like you started on this floor and it was these kind of guys. And then
Mhm.
as you continue to go through life, you always think that there's always going to be guys, which is true. More than likely, there'll be guys trying to approach you, but you know, you might not want to be committed to somebody because you think that you're better than them. And then you just keep going and keep going and keep going until I think I've finally given up on whatever, and now I'm just gonna get what I can get.
Anybody else want to
I
add?
love I love women with boundaries. I love them. And the baddies you're talking about, they have boundaries and they have expectations. And then we as men, we set a goal. Once we have figured out that you want us to be this chivalrous person and pay for everything while you do nothing except for look good, now all we want is the box. Because most of the time, those type of women don't offer anything of value other than looks. And a man is not going to marry you based most men don't marry you based solely off of your looks. You have to have some of the other intangible uh, uh, um, qualities in order for a man to marry you. So once we get that box, we'll get it until we find something different.
Okay. Anybody else?
I was just gonna say, I think sometimes it's the women. It's not necessarily always the men. Usually, I mean, from what I've seen, is not that those women have not had the opportunity to get married. I think it's kind of along the lines of what HD was saying about feeling like they can do better. So when you are an attractive woman, you're going to have more options to choose from. And sometimes the more options you have, the harder it makes to choose. So then you never choose because you're getting, benefits from various people. So I think that's part of the problem as to why they're not getting married.